What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and as always, we're going to go over the charts. Happy Monday, everybody. Everything seems to be playing out beautifully still. Is there a chance of one more little pump up? There is a possibility of that, but I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. So definitely stick around for the whole video. As usual, we're going to start out with the bigger time frames and move on down to the smaller ones. So pre-markets right now are looking pretty bad for the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. But as you guys know, usually if the pre-markets are down, we could possibly get a little pump. We're going to take a look at what's going on. But overall, everything still remains bearish in my opinion, unless some very important levels are broken, which we're going to talk about. Like I said, make sure you stick around for the whole video. Take a second out. Scroll down, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think is going on. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you share this video. All right, let's take a look at what's going on. So the Dow Jones, as we've been talking about, is making hidden bearish divergence, which is higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price action. This will be invalidated if we break the 33,000 range. But what we can also look at is these highs way over here. We come up to retag this trend line in the RSI. We could go as high as 34,000 point range. If we break that, then everything changes and we could be looking bearish. But unless we break that 34,000, I highly doubt that this market is going to continue up. A lot of people are saying that, you know, it's going to rally. There's no reason it won't, blah, blah, blah. But we'll see what happens. If it does break here, then yes, I will be looking for some higher highs in the traditional markets. But again, first level to watch is this 33.3 range for the Dow. If that breaks, then that'll erase this bearish divergence, but we still have bearish divergence from these highs over here. So be careful, be cautious. Let's take a look at the DXY. So the DXY, some things I want to go over. This is our support right here. We are below it right now, but if we zoom in here, we move this down to the actual body closes of the candle. We are back above it right now. That is looking pretty bullish, but we are below the EMAs. So be cautious here. We're going to look for this 106 range. If we break above that and get support, then we continue on. I know a lot of people have been posting on Twitter about the parabola being broke on DXY. It is not broke. Here's the parabola right here. There's nothing broke there. I don't know where these people get their lines, but unless we break this 105, let's see, it would be around 105 area. If we break, well, actually, if we look at, this is the 3-day with 2 days left. So we would have to break, yeah, that 105 area. If we break the 105, then we can start talking about the parabola being broken. But as of right now, it is not broken. So again, on our monthly chart, we did close above this trend line. But we're going to take a look at the weekly before going any further here. But right now, as you guys know, our monthly resistance was 25,560. We did close well below that. That is still bearish in the monthly as of right now. Unless we get an open and close of a monthly, and that has to be one candle. So we can't get a wick and call it bullish. So this month obviously didn't open above. So next month would have to open and close above 24,560 to be bullish. Now looking at the weekly, as you guys know, we've been looking at these measured moves here, right? So the first measured move on the weekly was the break of this rising channel. Once it broke, we had this target of 25.6 and boom, it hit perfectly. Now then we made another bear flag. We take that flag pull, put it down to the break. That gave us our target of that 17.6 range. Boom, we hit it. Now, if we break this one, now depending on if it's this week or next week, if it was to break, it'd be around the 20,000 range. That happens. Of course, we're going to have support at that 17.5, most likely get a bounce at the old low. But We do break, our first target is going to be a measured move of this rising wedge, would be about 14,000, 14,100. Then I would expect a bounce there, right? And that's if we break the 17.5. Then I would expect the next bounce around 14.1, 14.2. And then we take our measured move and it gets us around the 7,600 range, right? That's if the 1400 breaks. We have to break the 1400. Of course, we'll probably get a bounce. As you guys know, these targets take time. But let's look at our weekly Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart. Seems to be playing out perfectly. One thing I want to point out here is right here was June. Yeah, right here was June bottom, which we had June bottom right here. We go over here, we got up. Let's check the percentage on that real quick. That was a see, that July pump back here was 34.5%. Now let's take a look at what it is over here. This, oops. If we bring it down to our bottom of our June pump to July, around 40%. So pretty damn close, guys. Now, if this is the case, then we get another low in July. But let's see. This was July. So in August was our low. So if we get that again, we could get down to that 14,000 level if it does play out like this. And then we get our spike up to possibly that 28 that we were talking about. But first, I would have to see a lower low this month and then bounce up from there. So as you can see, if I move this over a little bit, what I'm looking for here is, first of all, our false bottom, which I believe is going to probably be around the 7,500, 7,600 range, like it was right here. And that's when we broke out. Everyone got extremely bullish on the weekly. We broke this falling trend line right here. That's what I believe will probably happen here. And as you guys know, I think the bottom will be in sometime in 2023. Now, does it have to do that? Absolutely not. But if this plays out like this, this is what I'm expecting. Does it have to go to 37? It does not. I am guessing that somewhere between 7 and 10,000 could be the bottom, but I do believe there's a possibility of that being a false bottom. So if you wanted to buy around that range and just put some stops above it, to get out if we do break back below that, and then catch some lower targets down here. So let's take a look at. This was a tweet I put out at 10:30 in the morning on the 30th, which was what, Saturday? Yeah, I believe it was Saturday. So I said this could be the BTC opportunity of a lifetime short. Now, a lot of people said, but 69 would have been. Well, we called it at 60. It was around 64,000 also. We called the first stop at 64. Then I made the video about the Amazon to Bitcoin chart that I showed you a minute ago on December 2nd, 2021, and everyone laughed. No one believed me, and look at where we're at. It does seem to be playing out perfectly. But what I was talking about here is obviously we could go down to that 7,500 range, and I pointed out here. Let me zoom in, and that was at about 24.5 when I posted that. And this right here was touching this top trend line on the daily. We're going to take a look at where it's at now, and that's why I say we could get one more pump, but let's take a look at what's going on. So here it is. Here's what I drew in there. I actually drew this in last week before I even posted that. I just wanted to show you guys. But what we've been watching here, let me put this target back up here, and I'm going to explain exactly what is going on here. So we had this target, right, all the way from back here when we broke here. And this is what I mean by it takes time for targets to play out. How did we get this target way back here in November of 21, right? We got this target here, the 24.3 area. That was just a measured move of this rising broadening wedge. We bring it down and boom, that's exactly where we hit. Now, I told you if this broke, this would become major, major resistance. That's what happens with measured moves, just like we had right here, right? So unless we open and close some dailies above this, which we did not, and I spoke about that on the last video. Let's take a look. We got above it, but we didn't even close above it, let alone open and close. So right now, we're actually getting a little bit of support on the 8 EMA. The next support's around 22,850, which is a 13 EMA. And the 21 is around 22,550 to 22,600. Look for support and possibly bounce back up and test this again. Now, what I wanted to point out on the daily RSI, you can see it did not come up and touch. So that's what I'm saying. There is a possibility for one more little pump up here to retest the top of this and come down. But if the daily closes at RSI above this and gets support, then we could be seeing obviously much higher. But even if we do get a higher bounce here, well, we'll take a look at it in the next chart. Actually 2 charts away, but as of right now, we did not get an open and close above our old support, new resistance. This is most likely what I'm expecting to play out here, guys. Something like this. And again, this takes time. This could be the end of this year, around November. And then if this is the false bottom, like I've showed, and you guys, another thing to check out is my How Bubbles Pop video. I made it about 2 weeks ago. If you just look on my YouTube page, you'll find it. You'll also see the Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart that I posted on December 2nd, explaining how this crypto washout needed to happen. And it does seem to be starting. So something to be aware of. If you guys are interested in trading before we go into the next charts, definitely check out Prime XBT. I have a link down below. You can use my promo code SAVVY50. That'll get you up to a $7,000 bonus. Savvy25 will get you 25% off your fees. You can trade traditional markets, gold, silver, Forex, everything, all from this exchange. Definitely check them out. And let's take a look at this 4 hours. So this is another thing I wanted to point out. I expected this to possibly play out like this one up here did, get the fake out and then come back down. But we did get another fake out. But what we were looking at, and I showed you guys this in the last few videos, is this falling broadening wedge, which we broke out there. And look at that, that hit the target perfectly on the head. But as of right now, we were back in this channel. Let me zoom in so you can see it. And we made the top of the channel resistance again. So if we come down to test the bottom of this channel, could go as low as that 22,000 range. But again, we'll probably have some support here. If we do break the 55 EMA, and that's at 23,000. If we break that, open and close below that, our next stop's most likely going to be this 22.5 area, which is the 200 EMA. If we break that, eventually could be coming down to look for this 22,000, 2250. And then if we are going to get it one more high, it would be after this. So that is the area you want to be watching. And if we do get down here, what we might see is the RSI come way down here, make some hidden bullish divergence, and just get one more little push up before. But again, guys, 28K would be the highest I see. And we've talked about that for quite a while. But again, like I explained, August could be a very, very ugly month. We could get that 28K first and then dump from there. So be careful. Let's take a look at. So this was the same thing, same chart pretty much with our targets down below. Remember, if we break this bottom of this channel here, 20,200, depending on if, when, and where it breaks, then we start looking for these lower targets. Could get pretty damn ugly. But again, looking at the 4 hour RSI, we could just come down, get a bounce off here, and that being somewhere in this, the middle of this channel's range, somewhere in the 22 to 22.2 range, right in there. Let's take a look at, so this is the other way I'm looking at this, right? As a rising broadening wedge here. And if you're familiar with rising broadening wedges, they do this. They do a B, I'm sorry, let me redo this. I screwed up. So how it would happen is this would be A, B, C, D, E would come back down here and then we get a push up. But what I want to look at is looking at this as the A, B, C. We have not gotten D yet. We could go up, get all the way up. That could be that 28K range and then continue down, right? That's if we get a good bounce. But at any time, if we break this top trend line, then we're probably headed to that 28K, possibly higher. But let's take a look at this. So if we were to get up and break this 25.5 range in the next few days, what would the bullish target be? Would be extremely bullish target, would be actually around 31. I don't think we're going to get that high. Again, nobody knows exactly what the market's going to do, but I want to give you guys all your options. If we break that, but I would really be looking for 28K rejection if that was to happen. But let's take a look at what happens if we break down. Let's say we come down and we break that 20,000 range in the next few days. That would actually get us between the 14.7 and $15,000 range for a bounce. But again, be cautious. It's probably not going to go straight down. If we do get down to these ranges, we'll probably bounce around, maybe test the trend line a few times. Same thing if we go to the upside. But as of right now, our short from 24.5 seems to be playing out pretty damn good. One more thing before we go. Make sure you smash the likes, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you like these daily updates, share the video, and let's take a look at Amazon. A lot of people say it's crazy to think Bitcoin could take 10 years to break its all-time high. I do believe that is a good possibility, especially if we see the lower lows that I'm talking about, right? So if we see them lower lows, what's going to happen? People are going to lose total confidence in crypto. They're going to disappear for a long time. It'll take a long time for it to regain consciousness, regain confidence. So you can see back here, the high was in 99. It took 10 years to break. It broke in 09. But you can see here, if it was to play out like Amazon did back here, you know, then we got a nice fake rally all the way up to, on Bitcoin, that would be in the 35, 40,000 range. Within the next, let's see, that was 01. So you had a 2-year little bull market. But remember, everybody's going to be expecting the 4-year cycle, right? So that would play out pretty nice into that. And then we get another low, come back up. This took a very long time. But the good thing about it is the bottom will most likely be in 2023. And if you were, you know, looking to be a hodler, that'd be a good time to buy and just hold. But you're not going to see, well, I take that back. You could see a crazy rally and just new all-time high in the next couple years, but it is highly unlikely because so much confidence will be lost in the market. People will be gone, a lot of people, and it will take time to bring people back in. So just something to think about. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Don't forget, subscribe, smash the likes, and I will see you in the next video later.